linebackers, there's 4 commits. Obviously, an enormous position of need. Popo Aguirre, a true inside linebacker. Malik Bryant, one of the guys that I think is one of the more underrated, underappreciated guys in the recruiting class, Marcellius Pulliam. I'll throw his tape up there in a second. And Bobby Washington. Linebackers. Go ahead, Matt.
Just as a general group, they needed linebackers. I think they have 3 coming back. I think one of them is Chase Smith, who's constantly getting hurt, but Chase Smith, I thought was going to be the breakout player this year on defense because the way he reshaped his body in the offseason, it was remarkable. He looked like a big-time player, and I knew he was very athletic coming from high school, so I was really excited about him. So, look, they have him. Obviously, they have the Saints coming back, who's really good, and Corey Flagg, who's, to me, an average middle linebacker. I'm not going to lie about it. So they need portal help. They need recruiting help. They need, every amount of help that they can get. As we already know, it's hard for a true freshman to really make an impact, although you saw Wesley by the middle of the season, he was pretty comfortable and doing a good enough job. It's kind of funny. The coaches were talking about how great he was. And for a freshman, he was great. But he had no tackles for loss, no interceptions, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. He just made some good tackles and played pretty well. And that's pretty much what you get out of a true freshman.
Steven, you studied the linebackers a little bit. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I really like Popo Aguirre a lot. He's a really big physical downhill run stopper. Could use a little bit of work and kind of his lateral quickness, his ability to get east and west, side to side. But he's someone who I think he's someone who's going to have a lot of success. I think he's someone the coaches envision having a lot of success. I also think Marcellus Pulliam is kind of underrated. He's really big, really physical, hyper athletic, maybe not as polished and refined as, say, a Malik Bryant or a Popo Aguirre, but definitely someone that Miami's coaching staff clearly values. And you can kind of see why, because he does have that raw athleticism. And I think what they're really hoping is that he has this natural framework. He has this natural, ability, this ball hawking sense that's just kind of born into some people. And they're hoping that this is the framework that they're going to be able to build around. Malik Bryant, he's obviously the biggest name in the class. I don't think anyone's disputing that. He kind of bounced around a little bit positionally in terms of being an edge rusher and being an off-ball linebacker. And I think Larry said it best, that he's probably someone who kind of figures to be like an in-the-box type guy. It kind of seems like, that's maybe where his skill set is. He's not really great in coverage right now, but then again, very few linebackers are great in coverage whenever they're coming out of high school. And like Matt said, you don't expect a linebacker to come in and be instantly incredible just because of how rare that is. It's pretty rare to start freshmen at linebackers anyway. It's even more rare for those guys to come in and have an all ACC type season. And then real quick, just on Bobby Washington, I think he probably has the highest ceiling of anyone in this group. And everyone that I've talked to said, Bobby Washington, that dude is a steal. That dude is hyper talented. We're not sure what his floor is, but we know that his ceiling is absolutely massive.
It's funny. He started out as a throw-in, at least in the perceptions of everybody. There was question: is Bobby Washington worthy of a Miami scholarship offer? He kept getting better and better and better this year, and now people are seeing he really does belong. But I agree with you what you said a minute ago. I am all about Marcellus Pulliam. I'm going to throw his videotape up here for a minute. I think this guy is one of the more underrated, underappreciated guys. Look at his explosion. He's number 8 on your screen right now. You're going to see a couple clips here of and just his explosion to the football really, really stands out. And I love the guys that put these comments on the highlight tapes. And then he just looks to pummel people. Now he needs a little work on his tackling technique. No argument. He's got a little bit of James Williams tackling technique in him there, that he's going to have to weed himself up, hopefully quicker than James Williams has, going into year 3 here and still, a little loose on his tackling technique. But this kid wants to get to the football. And when he gets there, it truly is big dog status. Like he really wants to pound somebody, and you see him. It's almost like he's in a boxing match the way he knocks these guys down and makes some of these tackles. But I am very high on the potential of Marcellius Pulliam, and I think that he will be a big time linebacker at Miami. Another name just to keep an eye on in the transfer portal, Francisco Mayagoa, without question is another guy that could join this linebacker group at Miami that needs a lot of help, and we'll be watching for that.